Alright, here's Brian. So a good extension, you're sort of crossing over or going real close to the center line when you're reaching forward a lot, so that's causing a bit of a wobble in your hips. When you're breathing to the left, you can see how your head sort of, it moves a little bit extra, so it's moving a bit extra to the side. It's not the biggest deal, but when you're thinking about swimming and you're working on your technique, you want to minimize your head motion as much as is humanly possible so that you just turn to breathe. But your head is not coming up out of the water. That's good. And you get a better angle on that when we view it from the front. The kick looks pretty good. The kick looks like it's supporting the timing of your strokes. And then this 50 is just supposed to be a little bit faster effort. So technique-wise, it looks like you're finishing the stroke a bit better. Otherwise, the technique looks the same. So that's good. You want your technique to be more or less the same. You know, between a 2-mile swim or an 800 swim, it'd just be the amount of force or kind of power that you're putting into the stroke. Alright, so here you can see how I'm talking about a little bit of the hip going side to side and a bit of the head, especially when you turn the breathe to the left. So minor issues, but in the grand scheme of things, when you're talking about streamline and hydrodynamics, those sorts of things do add up. And then from this front view, you can see how when your hand enters, you pretty much, especially with that left, go right to the center line. So what happens there is that causes that slight twist of your left hip to pivot out a bit. Now the difference when you start working on changing your stroke, you're talking about like a couple inches off to the side where you enter and then extend forward. Now underwater with the left arm, although that's the one I've been criticizing, you're getting a better catch. So you're getting more of the high elbow catch with that arm. With the right arm, you're doing what I would call a straight arm pull, meaning there's not a difference in the angle of the hand and forearm relative to the upper arm, at least not early in the stroke. There is some later in the stroke. At the end of the video, there's screen by screen or frame by frame analysis, so you can kind of slow that down and look at it. What's going on with the left arm is you're starting that early catch, that high elbow catch, but then something you could work on is, rather than have that forearm start to pivot under the body, which is what's going on when you're swimming past here right now, you want to keep that forearm angled as much as you can vertical to the bottom of the pool. You get a little bit of a better leverage angle with that. And you can see what I'm talking about here. See how the right arm is pretty much straight up and down, the left arm's pulling in under your body. So that's what you want to eliminate. Now, with the right arm, the line you were pulling was good. What you want to improve is the early vertical or high elbow catch portion of that stroke. You want to pull straight back like you were, but you want to improve the angle of your forearm. The one-arm drill, doggy paddle drill, and catch-up drill are really the best drills you can do for that. All in all, I mean, your technique is pretty good. So you're talking about lots of minor things that in some will add up to a significant amount of time, especially as you get into longer distances. In a sprint, you know, you're talking about 10 to 20 to 30 seconds sort of stuff that you can you can get out of the technique based on how hard you're pulling, which you are doing a good job of pulling pretty hard, and your form is pretty good. But when you get into the longer stuff, Olympic distance, you know, Ironman, you're talking minutes. So here you're just entering a little wider. You can see that, and sort of eliminated some of a little bit of the noise from the stroke. Looks a little smoother, and yeah, that looks a lot smoother. So it's just a small change like that, but you can visually see the difference in the stroke. So this is working on just kind of rotating and extending. So here this is just working on a bit more of the extension and rotation. So, you know, your extension was pretty good. Almost everybody has room for a bit of improvement there. So as much as, and this looks good as well, so as much as you can reach forward, you do so. A lot of this is going to be out of the water flexibility, and then in the water you just think about reaching as well as you can. So this is distance per stroke. This looks good. You're getting a nice extension here. This one is working on keeping the left arm off to the side a bit as you enter. Alright, and then using a pull buoy, this is a combination of you know, extension, keeping the left arm a bit wider, trying to keep the head motion free, and probably working on the catch. I don't remember if I had you working on the catch on this one as well. This looks good also. Alright, and then next up are the freeze frames. So good extension, pretty good rotation. Yeah, there might be a little bit of room for improvement with that. Just a little more on your side as you're reaching forward. Every little bit counts, kind of thing. And then right here in the next frame you can see that's the high elbow catch, so very good. And then this one, it rotates under, so if you can stop that from rotating under but maintain that high elbow position, that would be a very good technical stroke. So maybe a bit more rotation, slight more extension, and keeping the catch angle vertical. Then right arm, enter, and then start pulling, and it's more or less a straight arm. The upper arm and the forearm are in the same angle. You know, 1, 2, slight bit of catch here. You can see the hand starting to do it. Just getting a bit of the catch, you know. So you're pulling a lot of water, but from a high elbow catch perspective, you got just a little bit of it, and it was initiated later in the stroke. So work on that right arm quite a bit. All right, and I hope that all helps.